Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, let us take a look at the feature that helps us reduce the number of redundant measures in Power BI report. The feature is calculation groups. Before proceeding further, let's see what are calculation groups. Calculation groups are basically a placeholder that can be used to define reusable DAX expressions which can be used with multiple measures. Basically, a calculation group will have a reusable DAX expression that which can work with different types of measures as and when they are pulled. For demonstrating this, I am having a simple matrix visual here which is having the columns year, month name and two measures, namely total sales and total profit, its QTD, YTD values as well. It is also going to interact with a slicer that is built for country. For creating this matrix, I have already created a measure table which is having all these measures. But then let's say that I now want to show the same three measures, that is the total, QTD and YTD value, for there is a different measure called as gross sales. Likewise, for each of the measure that we want to display in our matrix, we keep on creating one more measure for the same. Let's say I want to display for 5 measures. So I will be having 15 different measures to show these three values. So this is not going to be a very sustainable approach. For handling this, we can use the calculation groups. Calculation groups were earlier available only in the tabular editor, but it's been quite some time since they are available in Power BI desktop itself. To create the calculation group, let's go into the model view, and in the model view, go to model. So you will see that you have an option called as calculation group. And in this calculation group, I can click on this three dots, click on new calculation group. And this new calculation group is going to show an editor here, which will again have different calculation items under it. For now, I'm just going to rename this to actual. And I will say equal to selected measure. As you see, this actual is now added as a new calculation item. I will add a QTD measure also. I am going to add a new calculation item. Here I am going to rename it as QTD and I will be using total QTD of selected measure and date. Why are we using selected measure here? So basically this selected measure is going to bring in the measure that we are going to add to the visual. I'll add one more calculation item, namely the YTD value. I'll rename it as YTD. Then I'm going to say total YTD of selected measure. And then I'm going to say my date column is calendar of date. This will add a third measure which is called as YTD to the calculation group. I will also rename this calculation group to a more meaningful name like time intelligence. Now that my calculation group is created, it is going to add a new table kind of structure to the data model itself. So now that we have three measures created, I will show you how we can have this used in the actual case. I am going to copy this country slicer to the next page. Also, I will have the matrix copied to the next page. In this matrix, I am going to remove all the measures that I have used for QTD and YTD. Instead, I will go to this calculation group and add the calculation group as a column. Once I add this calculation group, as you see, it has automatically included the QTD and YTD values for sales and profit. Now, if I want to say that I don't want profit, I can just remove the profit and it's going to remove all three values for the profit. Similarly, if I want to add a new measure, say total G sales, I've already created a measure called as total G sales. The reason I'm creating an explicit measure here is once we create the calculation group, it is going to stop utilizing all the implicit measures. And this total G sales, when I drag into the values section, it is going to bring in both the QTD and YTD value for the total G sales as well. and this is fully interactive with the slices that are present in the report page. Now that we have seen how this calculation group works with matrix visual, we can also see how this works with a table visual. I will just take a copy of this same matrix visual and then I am going to convert this into a table. Once I convert this into a table, as you see here, it is having year, month name, total sales, total gross sales, and it is also going to show the calculation group column as a new column. So it means that for 2013 September, this is my actual value, this is my QTD, and this is my YTD. And this gets repeated across for different measures. Since total sales and total gross sales are two different measures, they are getting displayed as two separate columns and the calculation group item becomes a row here. That's all in this video. If you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe for more similar videos.